What is up, guys? Sports Snippets. Dennis Sullivan here on a late night Sunday, here to talk about Game 1. Eastern Conference semifinals, Miami Heat go on the road to defeat the New York Knicks in Game 1, 108 to 101. Before I get started, you do like the content of this particular video, go ahead and hit that thumbs up. Feel free to hit the notification bell as well to get a heads up there when I do post videos moving forward. So let's get started. It was something, I tell you. The Heat go into Madison Square Garden after soundly defeating the Milwaukee Bucks in 5 games. And I'm thinking, you know what, this will be kind of a back to reality type Game 1, It just had that feel to it. I didn't feel good going into this one. But no Julius Randle for the Knicks. That was a factor. Heat really just pull away at the end, sort of. And the Knicks just couldn't do anything down the stretch offensively, whether it be a turnover, whether it be a missed free throws, missed shots, you name it. Ball out of bounds. It was a bad pass. Well, that's a turnover. But still, the Knicks somewhat self-destructed down the stretch in this one. Give the Heat defense some of the credit, though. I don't want to take away the credit there for the Miami Heat. Now, of course, a big story moving into Game 2 is going to be the health status of Jimmy Butler as he twisted his ankle there late in the game. When asked after the game how his ankle feels, he basically said, "It feels like I rolled my ankle." So what we're looking at here is very suspect, in my opinion, for Game 2, because you know how ankles are. You wake up the next day, he may not be feeling nearly as good. He was on the court, basically immobile, standing in the corner. Little bit, I will question, the Heat were up about 8 with about 3 minutes left. Probably a good time just to take them out. You play good defense up 8 with 3 minutes left, you're going to win that game. It's not like of course you always need offense, but that really don't want to second guess the Heat after winning such a big game, but that was maybe my one criticism. He couldn't really move out there, so I probably, if I were the head coach of the Miami Heat, I would have definitely heavily considered taking him out. Butler does lead the way, though, with 25 points and 11 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals. Bam goes for 16 and 8. Bam was not as active, or let's say involved. Active is the wrong word. He wasn't as involved offensively in Game 1. But I tell you what, he still played all right. He hit a couple of big shots. Teams are willing to give him that foul line jumper. They'll give that to him. It seems the Bucks certainly gave it to him. And he had a couple of wide open looks from right around the foul line. And, Bam likes to drive to the basket, as we all know. So it's almost as if they're playing off that, getting ready for that, but it's almost uncontested a lot of the time. Gabe Vincent showed up big time. He had the green light. He came out hot with his jumper, but then he cools off. Still finished with 20 points, 5 assists, and a steal. Kevin Love with 9, 5, and 4. Caleb Martin, Max Strus hit a couple of big shots. Strus, you got to have him out there. He's like a good defender. You gotta love him as a starter for the Miami Heat. Why not? Now the Heat bench. Now here it is, guys, because I sometimes get a little carried away with my statistics. I know, and I start reading the box scores and all that. But so far, other than the Butler injury, obviously the Knicks are going to need Julius Randle. But the Heat bench, you look at these two benches. The Knicks are a good team because they have a good starting 5. They do. But the Knick bench is not as good as the Miami Heat's. Kyle Lowry stepping it up huge. Turning back the clocks, 5, 6, 7 years? I thought he was in Toronto, the Toronto years. 18, 5, and 6. Then he gets a steal. And Kyle Lowry, the point guard, blocks 4 shots. Caleb Martin gets 9 points, 5 rebounds, 2 steals, and a block off the bench. You ever notice whenever Caleb Martin comes into the game, good things usually start to happen. Good things start to happen. Turnovers get forced. The ball seems to bounce our way, you know? The Heat survived Game 1 with really out much of a contribution at all for Duncan Robinson, but I'll definitely take that after his big series against the Bucks. I mean, he can't, knock down threes at this incredible percentage or incredible rate every game. Now, I'm going to give Coach Spo a big thumbs up for playing Cody Zeller for about 8-9 minutes. We need him in there. We need his toughness. He clogs the middle well. He's a good veteran to have in there. Adds just a point and a rebound and a steal, but his presence is big, and I look forward to seeing him playing more throughout the series. Haywood Highsmith adds 2 points off the bench for Miami. They got to fill that void as much as they can with, of course, from the guard position, I should say. With, of course, no Tyler Hero, out with the broken hand. For the Knicks, it was RJ Barrett and Jalen Brunson with 26. Barrett goes for 26, 9, and 7 in a steal, and then Brunson has an equally big game pretty much with 25, 5, and 7 and a steal. Toppin goes for 18 and 8 and a steal. Mitchell Robinson had 14 rebounds. He had a couple of thunderous dunks there, 7 points. He blocked 2 shots. He's good in the middle. Josh Hart is a good player, 10 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists, and a block. As I mentioned, the Knicks starting 5, and especially you throw Julius Randle in there, I believe Hart goes to the bench in that case. I know he was for a while, but the Knicks only played 8 guys, and they didn't get much from the bench. Emmanuel Quickley goes for 9 points and a steal. Isaiah Hartenstein, 2 points, 2 rebounds, steal, and a block. Quentin Grimes gets 4 points and a steal for the Knicks. So the Knicks bench only scores 15 points between the 3 players. The Heat bench goes for 27, 28, 30 points. So they basically doubled the output in terms of scoring points off their bench versus this Knicks team on the road. So Game 2 will be at 7:30 Eastern, Tuesday night, May 2nd. Will the Knicks have Jimmy Butler? We will find out. That's for sure. Is he going to be 100%? I mean, again, he finished the game, but I'll repeat what I said a few moments ago. You never know with ankles. They're very tricky. And, he can't be hindered by that ankle to be his normal self. He's not like a standstill shooter. He can play that role, but, this is a very active drive to the basket scorer out there in Jimmy Butler. It is safe to say. So, let's see what happens Game 2. Not sure the status of Julius Randle either. The Heat did what they got to do. They got Game 1. They did what they got to do. They've now reclaimed home court in this series. But Knicks are going to be a better team with Julius Randle. There's no other way to put it. And I think that's pretty obvious. But I like what I'm seeing. You got to figure Duncan's going to make a presence in this series off the Heat bench. So I kind of like the fact that not only did we take Game 1, but we did it really without much of a contribution from Duncan Robinson, who certainly can make a big difference in any series, with his perimeter shooting. So let me know what you think. Leave a comment. We'll talk again soon. Miami gets the win. Game 1, 108-101. Bye for now.